Game 5. The contestants consisted of Isabella Pagano, Presler, Jackson Jones.
He was only in 8th grade when he became a finalist in the 2019 teen tournament. He's now a high school senior, still representing Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Ryan's still in high school. Is he the only one still in high school? After thanking Johnny Gilbert, my and Alex construction was, and welcome back to the high school reunion tournament. We've had an exciting week of games so far, with just Bolston punching his ticket to the semifinals yesterday. Let's see what happens in our 5th quarterfinal as we welcome back Jackson, Ryan, and Isabella to the Alex Trebek stage. There's an extra special feeling to hear Mayim say the Alex Trebek stage when the contestants first played when Alex was still a host. Victor Hugo didn't want to pose for a bust, so this French sculptor made some quick sketches and voila, a bust was born. The answer was Rodin, who came up on Matthew Marcus's first game, and the game Maroon O'Neill lost. He had a pretty good 19th century run, including saving France's beer, wine, and silk industries. The answer was Pasteur, who I didn't know. Now that I think about it, my expertise in French would be about the language itself, and maybe the literature since it came up a few times, and I was disappointed that I didn't get them. I don't know much about his culture or history. He got both daily doubles. Jackson got all 3 of the daily doubles. Jackson got the first daily double. He made it a true daily double, betting all $2,600, got it right, and went to $5,200. In 1957, long before she had her own institute, she met Louis Leakey, who guided her to Gombe Stream to study chimps. The studying chimps part gave it away that it's Jane Goodall who was the answer in the Final Jeopardy question on Jonathan Fisher's 11th game. Oh my god, having gone back to that Final Jeopardy round, Louis Leakey actually was mentioned in the background information of the answer. Louis Leakey dubbed Jane Goodall, Diane Fossey, and Baruti Galdic as the Trimates for their pioneering work with primates. This is before I started including the background information in my recaps. Isabella's anecdote was that she was born during Ken Jennings' run. Mayim tells her, "You have a very long history of watching Jeopardy. Tell us about it." Isabella answered, "This is true. I was actually born during Ken Jennings' 2004 run, not to make him feel old or anything." It's funny she says not to make him feel old, since I've seen people older than Isabella use media from the 2000s to say they feel old, not the producers of said media. Mayim introduced Ryan as the only contestant still in high school, so that answers that. If he wins the tournament, he'll be the first champion in the history of Jeopardy to have secured a spot in the tournament of champions while still in high school. That'd be quite an accomplishment. And bragging rights, since these other students have gotten into all these prestigious and private universities. That would definitely give him a higher chance of attending any of them. Jackson crossed paths with 5 other contestants. This symbol of the U.S. has an eagle on the front and an unfinished pyramid on the reverse. Isabella buzzed in and answered, "What is the $1 bill?" which is incorrect. Then it looked like no one else would buzz in until Jackson buzzed in and answered, "What is the Great Seal?" which is correct. That felt way too long. I even timed it. It took 3.67 seconds to go from Isabella being incorrect to Jackson buzzing in. Jackson ended Single Jeopardy winning $8,800. Ryan was in second place at $5,400, and Isabella was in third place at $4,400. The first Double Jeopardy category to be revealed was literary reunions. This should be fun. I also like how it's a reunion category in a high school reunion tournament. One of the other categories was describing the horror film franchise. This should be more fun. 2 of my favorite pastimes, literature and horror films. Maybe I should combine the 2. Literary horror. Maybe I'll get into that. I did want to get into spooky literature for October. In her 2018 novel, Normal People, Colin and Marianne meet up again at university in Dublin and resume their situationship. The answer was, "Who is Sally Rooney?" which I didn't know because it was too recent for me. Some 20 books in, he won a Pulitzer for American Pastoral, which delves into the psyche at a 45th high school reunion. The answer was, "Who is Philip Roth?" which I also didn't know. This doesn't seem to be my category as I thought it would be. Jackson got the first daily double. He wagered $3,800, got it right, and went to $14,600. Jackson got the second daily double in Double Jeopardy, risked $3,600, unfortunately answered wrong and went down to $13,000 even. This titled woman finally returns to Rochester, blinded after a fire, but fear not, he regains some say after they marry. The answer was Jane Eyre, which I miraculously knew. I haven't read Jane Eyre in over a decade. It was one of the first novels I read for fun. The Boston Women's Memorial includes a bronze of this 18th century poet who wrote, "On being brought from Africa to America, The answer was Phyllis Wheatley, who I read about in my American literature class. Ancient Mesopotamia was the land between these two rivers, to be exact. The answer was, what are the Tigris and the Euphrates? So I learned about Mesopotamia in school when I was 11. As a repetition strategy, my teacher would have us say, Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, in the most boring way possible. Never were we told what two rivers they actually were. Or maybe we were and I just didn't remember. A high school plane trip to Europe. What could possibly go wrong? Making death mad. Problematic. Hi, Mr. Bloodworth. After no one buzzed in, the answer was, what is final destination? Isabella exclaimed, we're not going back there. Isabella, Mayim, and the audience laughed. Isabella then chose, starts and ends with the same vowel for 2 for 1200. Also, since this was a triple stumper, I wanted to time it just to compare. It did last shorter, so it wasn't just me. Lasting a mere 2 months, 17 days in 1483, the fifth king of this name was the shortest reigning male monarch of England. Jackson buzzed and answered, what is Henry, which is incorrect. Then Isabella buzzed and answered, what is George, which was also incorrect. After Ryan didn't answer, the answer was Edward V. These names sound familiar. Oh, of course. So I was looking through the Daily Doubles and the Final Jeopardy of James Holzhauer's runs through the help of the Jeopardy archive. One of the questions I came across was this. In the Final Jeopardy category of British monarchs, the question was, a 6 has followed these 3 royal names of English kings. The answer was George, Edward, and Henry. Funnier because Jackson and Isabella essentially gave Ryan the answer by guessing the only other 2 monarchs. That narrowed it down for Ryan, who didn't buzz in. Anne Sexton's poem about this eve mentions 12 grandchildren at the family reunion and the bulbs of the tree. The answer is what is Christmas, which, why, we're only in February. Well, to be fair, I am working on a Christmas project at the moment. In the Odyssey, Odysseus has a brief but memorable reunion with Argus, one of these, as he returns to Ithaca. Jackson buzzed and answered, what is a peacock, which is incorrect. Then Isabella buzzed and answered, what is a cyclops, which is also incorrect. Agnes was his dog. Isabella selected again. Mayim told him that Ryan didn't answer. Starts and ends with the same vowel for 8,100. Isabella mixed up the dollar amount in the same category. I hope she's not too nervous being on stage again. Maybe I should add the bloopers just so Isabella wouldn't feel so bad, I guess, since it happens to all of us. I mean, it's happening right now, and I pointed it out that she did it. Mostly because I was like worried for her, I guess. Once a year, anything goes. Ethan Hawke's son unlocks the door to trouble. Later, it's anarchy. What is a purge? Title 2 of the trade. Locked up, folks. Cutting to the chase. The Tobin bell tolls for thee. What is Saw? A torso bursting good time. Ripley's continuing, believe it or not, bad company. I can't deny. What is Alien? Some of these I do know. An extremely unlucky day at camp. Kevin Bacon got the point in film number 1, Jason's final chapter. Not even close. What is Friday the 13th? Pesto sauce makes a tasty topping for these small potato dumplings. After Jackson buzzed and answered, what are gnocchi? Mayim added, they are delicious, to tell him he's correct. Yes, they are, Jackson agreed. Isabella entered Double Jeopardy winning $10,400. Ryan was in second place at $11,000 even, and Jackson was in the lead at $16,200. The Final Jeopardy category was the ancient world. The question was, its ancient writer Galen said books on ships arriving to this city's port were seized. Originals kept copies and returned. If we're talking about ancient books arriving to an ancient city, the only one I can think of is Alexandria because of the burning of the Alexandria Library. The answer was Alexandria. That is correct, home to the famous Library of Alexandria. Ryan and Jackson answered correctly. Jackson wagered $5,801, taking his final score to $22,001, and is now a semifinalist. I ended the episode by informing the audience that they could watch the contestants in their original appearances, which is actually pretty cool. And as always, thank you for watching.